All right, so in the absence of no questions, let's move on to the next pair. So the next pair we are going to be looking at is the USDJPY. And on the USDJPY as well, we have been on a profitable trade since yesterday on the USDJPY. Remember, we had this opportunity here. Hold on a second. Remember I told you I bought this right above the $136,700 level. And one thing I stated there yesterday is that if price comes back to that area and we start seeing buy pressure right above that structure, we want to be joining that rally to the upside. And that was a very good opportunity for us to join that rally. So the first position we took advantage of here, if you are already in that trade, you will definitely be in about 93 pips in profit at this particular point in time. Then in addition to that position there yesterday, I also stated here that if price breaks out of the 137.150 level, that is if we see a breakout retest of that structure, which is exactly what happened here during the later part of the New York session yesterday. And then it was another opportunity to add more position to our existing trade. So at this particular point in time, we also added another opportunity to our existing trade here. And if you are taking that as well, you will be having around how many pips in profit? Around 50 pips in profit at this particular point in time. So if you are taking the two positions, you will currently be running with over 830 pips. So that is a very good position for us, at least the second day of the week. Running with over 830 pips on the USD JPY is not a bad thing at all. So the next thing we want to be doing here is to move our stop loss. Let's lock in some profit. And I will be suggesting that somewhere around the 137.430 level should be an area we shall be locking some profit here. I think 137.410 should be a very good area for us to lock in some profit at this particular point in time. And the reason why we are going to be locking some profit here is simply because of how that we've been noticing selling pressure around the 11,000. Let me see 11,000. Okay, 137.700. So we have been witnessing selling pressure around this area. Hold on a second, let's use our line chart for specific points of connection. So okay, I will prefer using the 137.650. So let's label this area for the sake of clarity. So we have the 137.650 level here. So as soon as price got into the structure, remember, we have been witnessing selling pressure here as well during the last week trading session on Wednesday last week. We saw selling pressure around that area. And as soon as price got into that structure, into that level, we have been witnessing a consolidation phase around here, which is characterized more with selling pressure, as you can see the wick around this level. Now, if I zoom out further so that we can see things very clearly here, we can see that as soon as price broke down the 138 Japanese yen level here a couple of weeks ago, price comes into this area. We saw selling pressure. Again, we can see price is right back at that area. We saw selling pressure again from that level. So we should be getting ready if sellers is going to be taking over this market. So now that we have this perspective in place, like I said, let's move our stop loss, lock in some profit here accordingly, and let's see how price action will play out. If price is going to continue to the upside from the above the 137.6, if we are going to be seeing buying pressure above this level, then we might want to be adding more position or wait for price action to break out of the 138 Japanese yen level, taking out all the sell position around this area to further confirm that the buyers have come here to stay. So if that happens, then we want to be adding more position to our existing trade. Well, before I go into the details here, it's appropriate that we scale up to the daily time frame. Let's see what is happening on the daily time frame. If the structure we are going to be seeing from an holistic perspective will still be supporting a bullish momentum, or we're going to be getting ready to join this decline to the downside. So in order to do this, we'll scale up to the daily time frame. So what do we have going on the daily time frame? Well, on the daily time frame, we identified the fact that price action has been on a long-term bullish momentum here. at least since the beginning of the year, we have been witnessing this bullish momentum. And this is evident after connecting the series of higher lows here to give us that resultant bullish trend line. However, we had a breakdown of the trend line here during the mid-month of November, which pushed price to the downside to the 135 Japanese yen level. And remember how important, how significant we said this key level at the 135 Japanese yen is. And look at what happened here in the month of August. We saw a reversal pattern here sitting right on top of the bullish trend line in the form of a double bottom structure. And whenever we have a reversal pattern like this, we want to be having a neckline area which shall be serving as our yardstick for trading activity. So the breakout of the neckline area was a very good signal that we should be going bullish here. And we went bullish here in the month of August. And in matter of fact, it took about 3 to 4 months for price action to come back and do a retest of that neckline. So see what happened here as soon as price got into the neckline area. We started seeing buy pressure from that area. Remember, we took advantage of this move last week, which gave us over 500 pips in profit. And we have seen price has continued to find higher lows from that structure. So we saw the breakout, price came back, did a sharp rejection of this level, and we find ourselves around the 137.500 level. Now we are right at the 137.500 level. We saw this area I showed you on the 1 hour time frame where we saw selling pressure from that same level. We saw that price is right back at that structure here. So is sellers going to have a say here, or is buyers going to break out of that structure to give us another opportunity to add more position to our existing trade? And if you look at the structure at 137 point, I am trying to see where is most suitable for us to place a key level. I think 137.700 is most appropriate here. And if we take it back to as far as the month of November, we can see how that level also has been serving as a determinant of price action. So we have the 137.700 here. If we look at what happened here in the month of November, we saw buy pressure from that same level. We saw buy pressure again in the later part of the month of November before the breakdown of that structure here happened. Price has been retesting that structure. Now we are right around that structure here, and you would agree with me that this is a very critical point we are in right now. For the sake of clarity, I would like to label this area so that we can have a visual understanding of what we are talking about here. So we have the 137.700 where price is right now. So for us to see for the confirmation that our buy position is very, very good, we want to be seeing price break out of the 137.700 level where we start seeing buying pressure around that area on our lower time frame, probably of 15, 10 or 5 minutes time frame. Buy pressure right above that structure, then we are good to add more position to our existing trade. So our take profit target still remains around the 142, 143 area. Remember this bullish trend line here, which was broken in the month of November. So there is a likelihood that price might come back to do a retest of that structure before another wave of bearish momentum happens, or probably break out of that structure to signal another wave of bullish momentum here. So let's scale back down to the 1 hour time frame. Let's see what is really happening around the 137.700. Let's see how participants are relating to the structure. And if we start seeing consolidation phase around that area, then we should know that participants are waiting for a catalyst in the form of a macroeconomic event to bring more liquidity into the market to drive price action in whatever direction it wants to go. And if we look at the economic calendar here, we have a couple of events we are anticipating for today. We have the Tehcnical Large Manufacturing Index, which is going to be affecting the Japanese yen. Then we have the Consumer Price Index, which is coming up in 2 hours from now, which is also going to be affecting the dollar. So we can see that participants are actually anticipating that event, and this is coming in the form of a consolidation phase around the $137.700 level. So right now, we shall be scaling back down to the 1 hour time frame. Let's look at how the structure at the 137.700 level is doing in respect to the current price action. So I will readjust this to the 137.700 so you can fit into the current structure we have here. So I would like to relabel this 137.700. So that's the structure we are going to be looking out for, guide our trading activities for today. So if price trades below that structure, following the sell pressure we have been witnessing here in the last 16 to 18 hours now, then we might be seeing that as a retracement of this impulse leg. So remember, we had this impulse leg that started this week. So if selling pressure continued to oscillate below the 137.700, then we might be seeing this as a retracement phase back into the bullish trend line, or probably the 137.150 level, where we shall be looking out for buy pressure to join the trend continuation to the upside. So if you are a counter trend trader or a scalper, you might want to take advantage of selling pressure if price breaks down the 137.700 and selling pressure continue below that structure on our lower time frame. Then you might want to join that decline, which might probably be giving about 50 pips thereabout. Not bad anyways. Well, but if you are not a counter trend trader or a scalper, or a long-term trader like me, then I would advise that you remain patient. If price falls below the structure, wait out for price action to come back within the structure here, which also shares a confluence with this bullish trend line here, to be thinking of buying the USDJPY. However, if price breaks above the $137.700 level and we start seeing buying pressure right above that structure, then we want to be thinking of adding more position to our existing trade. Now, in order to make things a little bit easier for us during the New York session today, there is another structure I was able to identify here, and that is after connecting the lower highs here. So we had the structure here. I'm not sure if we have a linear one here, because there's another one around this level here, which we can be using to guide our bullish momentum. So we want to see an outright breakout of the structure to give us a signal. Remember, move your stop loss according, lock in some profit here. So we want to see price breakout of the structure followed by buying pressure right above this level. Then we want to be adding more position to our existing trade. And if price breaks out of the 138 Japanese yen level, and then we start seeing buy pressure right above that structure, we want to be adding more position to our exit trade. So our TP target still remains between the 139.00 level and the 139.650 level on the USDJPY. So let's see how price action plays out in the next 24 hours. We shall be coming here tomorrow to review this and add more insight to whatever structure price action evolves into.